Equilibrium of non-concurrent forces. So for the equilibrium of non-concurrent forces, we have conditions to be satisfied. So the summation of horizontal forces must be zero, the summation of vertical forces must be zero, and the summation of moments must also be zero. So there are also types of supports that we have to consider. So we use this for the free body diagram. So when we see a fixed end support, as you can see in the image, so meron tayong tatlong reactions on that. We have the given moment, we also have the vertical reaction and the horizontal reaction. For the pin and or hinge support naman, yung triangle na yan. So we only have two reactions, one on the vertical and one on the horizontal. And then kapag non-roller, so if we only have one reaction, it's either vertical or horizontal, depende kung ano yung orientation ng ating roller support. So for example, let's take for example this problem. Determine the reactions of beam supports loaded with 50 Newton per meter uniformly distributed load and a concentrated load located as shown. So meron tayong simply supported beam na tinatawag. So merong pin and roller support. Then we have the uniformly distributed load W1, and then we have the concentrated load na P. So for step 1, what I do with this is convert muna yung mga given na distributed load. So we have to convert the uniformly distributed load para may concentrated load para mas madali yung ating problem. So to convert this, since this is a uniformly distributed load, kinukuha lang the area. No? So parang W1 times length. So parang area nung rectangle. So to get that, so we have 50 Newton per meter times 4 meters. So that will be 200 Newton. So we name that as W. So to draw the free body diagram, ito na yung kanyang location. Since yan ay uniformly distributed load, kapag kinonvert natin yan into a concentrated load, nasa middle yung kanyang reaction. So nasa gitna yung concentrated load na kinuha natin na yun. So yung 200 Newton ay mapupunta in the middle of 4 meters. So that is 2 meters from point A. And then we have P, which is 100 Newton, given kanina. And then we have two reactions at hinge or pin, no? Support. So vertical and horizontal. Yung directions, that is only assumption. Depende yan sa magiging result. So meron tayong vertical reaction at B. So since that is roller, wala tayong horizontal reaction. The tendency kasi kung may horizontal ay mapupush lang yan, hindi niya kayang mag-resist ng along doon sa roller mismo kasi may pupush lang niya yung bola or yung roller. So for calculation, so we have to satisfy the condition now. Summation ng forces X should be 0. So to solve that, sabi dito, since there is no load that acts horizontally. So wala namang load na nag-act horizontal, no? Wala tayo, lahat ng load na given natin ay vertical. So walang dapat i-react si AX na pa-horizontal. Wala siya kailangang pigilan na force na horizontal. So therefore, 0 lang din siya. And for our summation of forces Y or the vertical forces, so the first thing is we have to assign which is positive and which is negative as we usually do. So in this case, I assign downward forces as positive and upward forces as negative. So ano ba yung mga downward forces natin doon? Yun yung mga given loads na W and P. So sila yung magiging positive. So we have W plus P minus yung ating mga upward forces, which is yung A vertical natin at saka yung B vertical reactions of the supports. So to solve that, so we have 200 Newton plus 100 Newton, then transposing, separating the variables to the constant, magkakaroon tayo ng AY plus BY, which is equal to 300 Newton. That will be our equation 1. There is still one condition that we need to satisfy, which is the condition for moment. So summation for moment should also be 0. And to get that, we have to choose kung saan tayo magmo-moment. It's either at point A or at point B. And we also need to assign which is positive and negative. Is it the counterclockwise direction or the clockwise movement? So in this case, I assign counterclockwise movement as positive and clockwise movement as negative. So to get that, moment at A must be 0. So the only counterclockwise movement doon ay yung sa reaction ng By. So By times 12, the whole distance ng beam or the sukat ng beam from point A. So we have to subtract P times to 6 meters minus yung W natin times 2 meters yun yung layo niya from point A. So we have By times 12 minus 100 Newton times 6 meters minus 200 Newton times 2 meters. Then simplifying the equation, you get this, and then we have this one, which is By is equal to 1000 Newton meter time divided by 12 meters. So by that we get vertical reaction at B is equal to 83.33 Newton. So substituting vertical reaction at B to equation 1, so we get AY plus BY is equal to 300 Newton. So AY plus 83.33 Newton is equal to 300 Newton. So will result to AY is equal to 216.67 Newton. Okay, so for additional example, please watch my other video. Thanks.